We're going to start this hour with a window into how Americans are feeling about the economy and their money right now. As you might imagine, things have changed pretty drastically just in the last few weeks. Steve Liesman has been digging into this. He joins us right now with the results from the All-America Economic Survey. And Steve, this survey may be more important than ever right now.
It's really registering an historic change in Americans' attitudes towards the economy, both good and bad, by the way. So let me go through the data. We have seen an unprecedented decline in Americans' views on the current state of the economy, registering the largest and fastest decline in views on the economy that we have ever registered. Let me put it in some context to you. For example, the 9/11 terrorist attack saw a decline of 4 points in those rating the economy excellent and good. And that decline happened over 5 months. 2008 financial crash, a 19 percentage point decline, and that took 6 months. We have seen a 25 percentage point decline of Americans who say the economy is excellent good, down to 22%, and that took place over a 24-day period. One of the reasons for that decline, 1 in 4 Americans report either losing their jobs or having their wages cut as a result of the shutdown that's accompanied the coronavirus. Another 10% believe that fate awaits them. But hold on, because 51% of Americans, it's a record now, believe the economy will improve in the next year. That's up 17 points. So what's happened is they've taken their optimism reviews about the current state of the economy and they have put that into the future, in part because a majority believe this shutdown will only last a few months. And a plurality of Americans are optimistic, by the way, their stock values will improve in the next year. All of this has actually helped the president here. His approval rating rose to 46% from 40% in our December survey. His disapproval rating has declined from 49 to 43. It's the first time he is what we call above water here in this poll of 800 Americans around the country. That is, his approval rating is higher than his unapproval or disapproval rating. Now, when it comes to Americans' views on the handling of the coronavirus, the CDC doing very well, 75% of Americans approving of it, 57% approving of how the Fed is doing, the president there at 50%, and Democrats and Republicans in Congress not doing too badly, actually. Congressional approval numbers are often single digits sometimes, but you can see there 47 and 45% approval for Republicans and Democrats in Congress. There's overall approval of the bailout packages that are out there, but a lot of distinction among Americans about which industries should be bailed out. 92% say it should be a priority to help hospitals, 83% small business, local restaurants gain approval, and 60% retailers. After that, the support for bailing out airlines, bailing out the oil and gas industry, bailing out Boeing, cruise companies, and casinos falls off the cliff right there. Our Republican pollster, we have a Republican and Democrat pollster who advise us on the questions and the analysis, say, if you want to sell this bailout package, talk about hospitals and small businesses. Don't talk about cruise companies and casinos. Becky?
Steve, thank you very much. I mean, I think that's kind of interesting. I guess it's they feel obviously the hospitals need it, and then the small businesses around them, the restaurants they use. Kind of surprising to see how quickly that drops off, though. And that's going to be a big issue that Washington's going to have to address.
Becky, it's also across the board. When you look at that bailout by industry, and by the way, overall approval of the bailout is has political support on both sides of the equation. Some concern more about Republicans about spending too much, but even conservative Republicans support the bailout. There's a little bit more support among Republicans for oil and gas, a little bit more support among Democrats for some of the local restaurants. But it is really quite amazing how flat the approval is for bailout and how similar different economic groups are, different demographic groups are for supporting different industries.